yeah, forget about it. It's your boy, the Boogeyman here, aka El Boogiano, and tonight we got a special Fiend cast for you today. It's the Comic Book Fiend Club presents the Fiend cast, and I took over this shit, huh? Forget about it. I'm not alone. I got a couple of people with me here today. Let them know who you be.
What up, what up? Chad, a.k.a. the Canadian Geek, a.k.a. the Maple Avenger.
What's up, everybody? I'm James, a.k.a. the Comic Raider, representing the West Chapter.
All right, Fiends and Fiendettes. We got a very special show tonight. You know why it's special? Because I took this shit over, and I'm a special kind of guy. All right? The Ink Jedi couldn't be here tonight. I got Chad with me. I got James with me. And today we're going to talk, first topic of the day, the return of Wolverine, which I'm sure is a beautiful, beautiful topic that people are very excited about, aren't we, Chad?
We were until issue 1 dropped, and wow, what a giant heaping pile of shit it was. Now I have faith in Charles Soule to come around to make it better in issue 2. It's just now if he's doing, and I did some research, and he says, like, yeah, I'm trying to make it the story as you read it. It's about 95% from Wolverine's point of view. So the fact that he doesn't know what's going on, he's very confused. That's why it reads like that, because you're reading it as you're him. So if you're a reader going, oh, but this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. It's like, yeah, because picture yourself as Wolverine. Nothing is making sense, but I don't know. I just don't like this whole new fad of introducing these new characters out of nowhere. All of a sudden, this girl is supposed to be rumored to be the one that brought him back to life. For what reason? I would have liked if they would have pulled like an older character, like even bring that shitty character Romulus back, or could have made it maybe Mr. Sinister, like do an old pull from an old cool bad guy. The art kind of kept me in this issue. McNiven's art, it was a little more raw-ish. His lines weren't as clean as they usually are, but I liked it. I like what he did. The ink work by G. Leaston was good too. I'm really hoping that they go somewhere quickly in issue 2. So again, it wasn't. I have faith, but issue 1 just wasn't very good.
Right. Yeah, they definitely. It was a slow start to issue 1. But that's probably the reason why they had, so many variants. So people would definitely be buying the book at least, James, what do you think?
I wasn't too big of a fan of it for the same reasons that Chad already said. I mean, I was kind of like lost, and it was kind of boring in a sense would be the best way to put it. Yeah. I thought the art was pretty good. I could see where if the story does become better, the two will mesh. That art will be perfect with this violent story if it becomes that way. I do like Charles Soule, so I think, I'll give him a chance on it. I was excited. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I saw like a little Omega Red type thing going on there. Right. So that was pretty cool. So, I mean, disappointing first issue, but we'll give it a chance for the future.
Right. I mean, yeah, I was definitely disappointed on how, laggy it felt, kind of like it was drawn out. So that means one or two things. Either they're leading up to something phenomenal, or it's gonna just suck the rest of the series. And now I can't imagine if issue 2 is the same way. I can't imagine a lot of people staying hooked with it. They might. You know how the community is. If it's 2 issues straight and it's kind of whack, people are just going to toss it. They're not even going to bother with a 3rd issue. What do you think, Chad? You think it'll keep going? You'll keep grabbing if the second issue sucks?
I'm a diehard Wolverine fan. Despite what all the East Coast guys say, I am the biggest Wolverine fan on the East Coast, so I will stick with it because I'll tough it out. It's like the little things that they do, and you're like, why? You didn't have to do that. Like the last two, I don't think I'm spoiling anything here. The last 2 panels or the last 2 pages of the book, they reveal this new outfit that the artist Declan Shelby or Kelvy designed, and it's like I think it may be his version of a throwback to like the old Patch, when back in the 80s, his all black Patch outfit. But he's got this really weird like Commander Sulu from Deep Space Nine / with a Benny Hanna's waiter motif going. It doesn't look good at all. And I read it's like, oh, his new black outfit, and I'm just like, you don't. Wolverine's one of the only characters you don't need a new outfit. The guy's got like a dozen or so different costumes he can wear. You don't need to design something new. Just keep it simple. That's all you have to do in comics is keep it simple, keep it intriguing, and people will come back. You don't need to be all flashy. Sewell says they'll explain the Hawk Claws. I think in the next episode we're gonna see, or the issue 3, like they'll lead up to it. Like issue 2, they'll kind of mention it. Issue 3 is when we'll get to see exactly what they can do, besides toast your bread when it cuts through it. But I'm hoping. Like I said, I have faith. I just really hope they do right by the fans. I know it's hard to say because I know Marvel personally. I don't really think Marvel gives a shit about the fans. They give a shit about their money. But the fans who are really waiting for this, I hope they really do right by them and say, okay, here's, we start off slow, but we're going to deliver a story that is worthy of Wolverine, is worthy of the fans to be like, okay, that's it's worth our money and our time.
So, do you believe? Well, now this is considered the first appearance of the Hot Claws. Now, is that the new thing? Is that gonna make this book hot?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm getting so sick and tired of first appearances of everything now.
Yeah,
I just want it to be good. They could have put him in his old brown tan costume and had character. He could have had Roundhouse and like Bloodscream from issue 24 in there. I wouldn't have cared. Just make it good. I don't need anything flashy. Just make the writing. The artwork is going to be great. In this day and age, it's hard to find crappy artists. The artwork is going to be good. Make the story match the art, and everything will be good.
Well, that's a bold statement, bro, because I can tell you I know plenty of crappy artists.
Oh, there's plenty of crappy on, but I just mean is on a book like this, in the Marvel Rolodex of artists they have on hand, they have a lot of people they could call on that are amazing artists. So I'm just saying is that they're not going to put a crappy artist on this. So there's a lot of good ones out there. So I just hope that the story quickly catches up to the art, because the art's really the only thing that kept me going. I knew there's going to be good art coming. I love there's some panels where he's walking past a puddle and he looks down and his reflection is like the tanned Wolverine costume or the brown on brown. And then he's walking by like a broken, a window that's all broken, but the reflection in the window is his Weapon X. I was like, okay, cool. Like seeing all the different, some of the more popular outfits. So
talk about spoiler alerts here. I should have warned people ahead of time.
No. If you haven't read it yet, we'll get ready for our Batman profile. Then blow people's minds up.
But
go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I mean, it could be like hopeful thinking, but you have to think that they don't bring him back unless they have a good story, or at least in theory, this story is good enough to have done it.
Did you read how they killed him?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But his Charles Soule's Daredevil run is also hit or miss. There will go multiple issues where it's just bland and boring, and then he'll pick it up and he'll do something different. So maybe that's what we got going on here. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep high hopes just for the simple fact that I am a Wolverine fan. The new trend in comics in general seems to be, something new. They're obviously gearing towards a newer audience that has, never read Wolverine comics. They have no idea about who Wolverine is except for what they see in the movies. And it really does seem to be the new thing now for these publishing companies to try to reach out and grab these guys. James, what do you think about reading, material that you've obviously been aware of for many years, and now you see all of this new stuff? You think it's a good thing, or you think it's a bad thing?
I think it's twofold. I think it's a good thing if you're a newer reader, but I think it's a bad thing for all of us. We don't want our characters changed. We don't want, all these different things done. The clause could be something just as simple as, it's different for this new generation that's going to read it. But for everybody else, it's like, that's just a stupid gimmick. What's the point of it?
Right. Chad, thoughts?
Yeah, same thing, really. Like, if it all depends, because there's been so many iterations of any character you could take, but especially Wolverine, there's been ones where he's so overpowering. Like, there's been versions of him written where he's like faster than Captain or Black Panther, stronger than Captain America because of his skeleton, super, he can regenerate from a drop of blood. He has all these crazy powers, and there's been other versions where it's like he's not that great a fighter. He's not that strong. So it's just like, if they're just make him good, just keep him simple, write it good. You didn't need hot claws. You didn't need all the flashy gimmicks. People are just excited. With Wolverine, I think it's more than anything is his attitude. He will not back down from anybody. He doesn't care who you are. If you're a bad guy, if you have to cut his head off, you're gonna have to do that because he won't stop coming. And that's the kind of attitude you got to bring to the character. More than anything, that's Wolverine. It's who he is as a person, not the flashy gimmicks around his costume or his abilities.
Right. Now, with that being said, you think that's selfish of us to think that way? You know, just because we're kind of like stuck in our ways? I mean, you know, who's to say that it won't be a good thing? You know, who's to say that it wouldn't be awesome? Like, I mean, look at it from the perspective of this is a brand new character that you're being introduced to. You know, would you think that it's pretty awesome that he's got like flaming claws?
Yeah, I think they do. And I do think it is a little selfish of us, but just like anything else, though, it only matters if it works. If it works, then everybody gets over it and everybody's cool with it. And that's just, I mean, that's movies, comics. It doesn't matter, you know. I mean, remakes of, you know, movies that we all love from back in the day. Same thing. If it's a good movie, then we all forget about it.
Right. True indeed. Very well said. Now, as far as all these variants go, all right, how many of you suckers have fucking picked up every single one of these things, huh?
Nope, just one.
Pass.
Yeah. Plead the fifth over there, huh?
Yeah, pleading the fifth. Once I stopped counting. Once I went through both hands twice, I'm like, okay, I think I got enough variants. So.
Oh man, James, what'd you do? You only picked up the regular cover?
I just got the regular, just one copy of the regular.
All right.
My man Boogie over here hooked me up with all the every McNiven cover, the Premier cover, the Todd Knock colored what the hell is his name? John Christopher, whatever his name.
Spit it out, Junior.
His cover where he's jumping through the Sentinel's face. I got the Delato cover on order. I got the Tyler Kirkman cover on order. I got the Ink Jedi was nice enough to go grab me the Joe Jusko cover. I'm not buying any of the McFarlane covers because I think he did a really shitty job on his face, so I'm not going to bother wasting my money on that. I got a lot. I'm sure I'll buy more that I see at down in Baltimore. I'm sure there'll be a lot of vendors with them, so, you know. I'm
sure there's going to be tons of different exclusives down in Baltimore for this book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not as bad as our president, Steve Klein, who bought hundreds and hundreds of dollars of Batman 50 variants, but I'm sure I'll spend a good penny on it.
Whoa. Hey, we're not going to talk about that here live on air, right?
We're not going to defend himself, man. Damn.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? The one thing I will say, you know, it's funny. It's hit or miss. Like, I would say 8 out of 10 times when a new book is being released and they have, you know, a gazillion freaking variants, most of them are shitty looking. Like, these variants for you know, this particular book, I feel like they were pretty badass. I mean, granted, a lot of them were the same pose, but I thought it was cool how they did, you know, each individual suit. And then, you know, they were all nice looking, you know, just to keep it simple.
Except Todd Knox cover, but
yeah. I mean, even so,
kind of like that's the barbecue. That's the kind of cover that the old school fans like us and me and you, Boogie, little older guys, are like, really? You got to do my man like that? You got to have him at the barbecue using his claws to heat the burgers up, like. Right. One of the best ones right now. If anybody's listening, looking for a great cover, the Joe Jusko cover from Midtown is Wolverine. When you look at that cover, it's like, okay. And McNiven's cover, like his best ones I found were the Weapon X one was one of the best ones. His yellow costume one, Patch, and Weapon X, and even the Fang one's pretty cool. But there's a lot of really good covers for this. The Delato one is amazing. If anybody has, it's him on top of a mount with 2 wolves. Oh, it looks great.
Yeah, I know you're totally in love with that cover.
It is, but I don't mind it because all the covers are so nice. I'm not buying the covers just to get the covers. Just say, oh, I have 37 variants. It's just like every cover, almost every cover, is fire. Almost every cover is just so nice to look at, and most of them are even better. I found because the way they, for some reason, for this every issue almost, there's so much dead space in where the trade dress would go. And for those who don't know, trade dress is when you see like the title of the book. A lot of the Virgin covers actually look better with the title of the book in it, because where the title would be, it's just empty space. So by having like Wolverine or Eternal Wolverine in a cool font, it actually brings more to the cover than when it's not there. So yeah, there's so many nice covers for this book.
Steve's Klein says buy them all. It worked out for him. So moving on, another exciting thing that a lot of people in the community are waiting for right now is Daredevil season 3, and people are buzzing about it. There hasn't been like a tremendous amount of trailers out for it yet. Like little snippets of things to really get people's dick hard about it, and then just they just rubbed the balls and left you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
get
James,
your 10 hot and then run away.
Right, James. What do you think about Daredevil season 3? You excited?
Very excited. I'm not caught up on the others, but this is one that regardless I will watch. I like the idea for the premise of it. It seems to be going to follow, it's probably, I mean, they're not going to do it exactly, but the whole Born Again by Miller series. So if it mirrors that a little bit, you're going to have Kingpin, who's going to be bigger and badder than he ever was before, and will most likely put Murdoch and Daredevil in a very bad place, and that's what's going to help to break them. You got Bullseye, rumored to be in it, and how they work in the two of those is going to be interesting to see if they're working together. Is one going to be half of the series, and then the other storyline's kind of the other half, and just where does it leap off? But definitely exciting with the news so far.
Chad, viewpoint?
I'm excited too. I don't know a huge amount of the Daredevil comics other than the few I've read. It'll be different with the two bad guys, because Bullseye himself is a very formidable adversary. We got that part of Daredevil season 2 when Kingpin's talking to the Punisher about how when he gets out, he's not gonna be there to fight a war; he'll be there to win one. So he's gonna be coming with guns blazing. I'm wondering though what I'm curious about is if they're gonna have any cameos by any of the other people. Are we going to see Iron Fist? Are we going to see the Punisher? Maybe they'll have him back for a really quick cameo. Are we going to see Luke Cage? Are we going to see Jessica Jones? Because after the Defenders season 1, it leaves you open to have them pop into each other's series, like Finn Jones, like Iron Fist did for Luke Cage using that one episode. So it'll be kind of interesting, because I think if he's fighting Kingpin and Bullseye at once, he's going to need some help. But that trailer when he's like, I'd rather die as the devil than live as Matt Murdock. You was like, oh shit! Like he's coming. Like if that's the way it's got to be, that's the way it's got to be. And if he's got to kind of cut everybody out of his life just to be the devil, it's going to be good. Like it's going to be good writing, good action, good acting. So I'm really excited. I think people have been waiting for 2 years now since the last season, because they did the Defenders and then they did all the other shows. So I'm excited to see what we're going to get. Come season 3.
Hell yeah! I mean, it's funny when they released, the reveal date was in San Diego Comic-Con 2016, and everybody was hyped up. They've switched some directors along the way. People that were doing the the fight scenes and everything. In season 2, the action went from here to up there, like dumb quick, and everybody was instantly hooked. Yeah. I personally believe that season 3 is gonna blow season 2 out of the water, man, and I think there's gonna be a ton of cameos. You gotta have the Punisher in there, because they're gonna want to hype up the next season of Punisher. Yeah. The way Iron Fist ended, they're gonna probably have him. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole Defenders team is formed in its entirety for season 3. What do you think, James? You think that's a possibility?
I think it is. I'll quickly go over Born Again a little bit. So in Born Again, Karen Page has now become like a heroin addict, and she sells Daredevil's identity to a drug, and then that note gets its way to Kingpin. So now Kingpin has that information, and he uses it to just break him. He freezes he pretty much basically gets a hold of the IRS, freezes all his money, so now he's got nothing. On his way home, he blows up his apartment, so now he's got no house, and he just breaks him down as a man. You tie that into, how Defenders ended, and I think that, he's just going to be a broken individual, and then that led him to, go after Kingpin now. And then towards the end of it, this is when you also get the introduction of Nuke, and then Captain America comes in. Now, obviously, you can't bring Captain America in, but you could now, that could be their way to introduce somebody else into it. And then real quick, Bullseye, from what I read, I'm gonna assume that he's not gonna come into play until later, because what I read is that he's I think they called it a psychologically tortured FBI sharpshooter, which means he's gonna come on board as a character who's in the FBI, and then maybe at some point later on down the road now turns, because they said he's teetering on good and evil, so he's gonna turn into this Bullseye character towards the end, probably.
That's cool.
Chad, what do you think, Chad?
I don't know. I just want James to keep telling me what's going on here. I'm getting all excited over here. Got my tiddly bits all going here.
It's going to be amazing.
No, that's crazy. I think I'm going to have to pick up the trade for that just because, yeah, and like, it would be so sweet though. Can you imagine, like, they didn't tell anybody, and before he finished his last scenes in Avengers 4, Chris Evans does show up as Captain America. People's heads would fucking explode if MCU Captain America showed up on Netflix Daredevil. People would have heart attacks. But no, you're right. It gives them a chance to, if they are loosely following that storyline, it gives them a chance to, if not even introduce a new character, bring back the Punisher. He'd be like, "Yo, you need help. I heard you needed help," and he would be a good like counterpoint to Bullseye's character, because they're both soldiers and they're both use guns and whatever, and then gives Daredevil the chance to go fight Kingpin. I'm excited that now that James told me what that storyline, that's pretty cool. I'm guessing if he's an FBI agent teetering on good and evil, I'm guessing he'll probably end up blaming maybe one of his comrades who got killed because of Fisk, Daredevil and Fisk. So maybe that he blames Matt for that, of the guy dying. So that's why he tries to go after him or some shit. I'm excited. It's just, there's so many options, and that's a good thing about, and especially with how they did the show with the Defenders, is it could be almost any of them. It could be someone new, although I haven't heard if there's any new characters, or it could be anybody. And it could be anybody. It could be Jessica Jones could show up and just punch she's got superhuman strength. So she could just show up and beat the snot out of him. And then, okay, well, I took out one guy. You only get help a little bit. And then, or it could be Finn Jones. It could be Luke Cage. Or it could be all of them. It could be the whole team just shows up to help him out. Who knows? Like, I'm just saying it opens itself up to so many possibilities that could also help those shows for their next seasons, or Punisher for season 2 of Punisher, or so yeah, that's really, really cool. So
now at the end of season 2, I think Foggy switched over to Jessica Jones' firm or old firm or whatever. So I think that could be what brings her. She could be in it easily.
Yeah. Right, that's definitely a possibility, especially from that past season, seeing that. Now, they mentioned Bullseye, right? They mentioned Kingpin, but Marvel is known to always have like special surprises.
Yeah.
Who do you think a surprise villain could be on this third season? James?
I haven't watched it, but I think Typhoid Mary's supposed to be Iron Fist, if I'm not mistaken.
She's in season 2.
Yeah, so she could jump in. Wouldn't be necessarily that much of a surprise because they did already introduce her. But you could also get the Owl. I mean, he's in it. What's the guy's name? Leland or whatever. But he can now begin to kind of become that character.
You mean Leland the accountant? Do you mean Leland the accountant from season 2?
The name, yeah.
The old guy was Leland though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, say that name 10 times fast.
No, yeah, you could do so much. It'll be interesting. You could bring back the Hand. You could bring back Elektra. You know, because we don't see what happened to her. We saw what happened to him. He's in the church at the end of the season, Defenders, but we don't know what happened to her.
That's a possibility too. But now let's think outside the box. Who else rivals with Daredevil? You know, in the comic books, who else could they possibly bring back? Well, not bring back, but introduce as a villain.
As a villain?
Yeah.
I mean, well, same thing. I mean, if you go with, I know you're kind of asking for like other people, but if you go off of who's in it, same thing. I mean, the Gladiator is another villain. That's Melvin Potter, the dude that makes the suit. I mean, he could now again become the villain that he is in the books.
Yeah, right. Or he could be a good guy. He can make that suit and decide to help the Daredevil.
Because when he snaps, he's fucking brutal.
Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah,
fucking A. But now, you know, kind of, you know, getting a little off topic here, but freaking Iron Fist. I mean, I haven't
finished it yet, so don't ruin it for me.
I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but you know, I gotta be honest, man. Like, first of all, I think they casted him all wrong. I don't think this dude should be looking like a hippie, but that's just my opinion. I only think that he really did good in cameo appearances in Daredevil. You know, like, I think as a standalone show, it was pretty shitty. So, do you think that if he comes in on Daredevil season 3, like it's going to be a good attribute, or do you think maybe it'll kill it a little bit? What do you think, Chad?
I think it'll be good because I really enjoyed his. I thought Finn Jones, the guy who plays him, I thought his cameo in Luke Cage was really good. So far, I'm liking. I think I want to see episode 3 or 4 of Iron Fist just because I've been so busy. I'm liking it so far. I agree that I find myself not caring really. I only want to see him go crazy. I don't want to see any of his other acting. Like, I don't want to see you having a heart to heart with anybody else. Just kick some ass and show me the fist. I think they could have done better with a different cast. Like, I would have loved to seen the guy who plays Shatterstar in Deadpool 2. I would love to see him as Danny Rand. I think that would have been really cool because he would have brought a little more seriousness, a little better acting even to the role. But yeah, like they'll figure it out. I think like season 2 was way better than season 1 was, and I think maybe season 3 will be, if they do it, will be even better. And you know, got to remember too is actors hopefully should get better the more they do the roles. So you know, who knows? Season 3, they might say, "Hey, Kate, we're going this way, and we want you to do this," and maybe he'll be like, "Okay, good. I wanted to do it this way, so now the leash is off a little bit. I can kind of do my own thing how I wanted to." But then again, the other thing could happen. It could get even worse. So I liked his cameos in Luke Cage, and I would like to see him in maybe, like I said, not carry a whole show maybe, but that's just me. I'm sure for every person that hates him, I'm sure there's 100 that like him. So you never know.
Apparently, Kristen Brown thinks Shatterstar is a dick. So we'll just go with that. You know, we'll just go with that. So moving on to a very big topic that seems to be, you know, for lack of better words, a controversial topic that's been, you know, spewing all over the internet this week is another poor choice of words, I guess.
Another pun. No, Batwang.
Yeah, Batwang. You know, I don't even know if I could take this topic seriously. You know, Ink, man, I know you love the Batwing, but this is the Batwang. Okay, I don't think Toy Biz made a version of that yet. You know, what do you guys think, man? Batman's dick is all over the place. How do you guys feel about that, James?
I thought, I mean, other than the joke has become now, I mean, I read it, I laughed, I posted it up, you know, as soon as I read it. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't. Well, I'm surprised that it went as crazy as it did. Right. I think it's the fact that, you know, it's this whole Black Label thing is supposed to be, as you know, many of us have talked about already, mature readers. It was supposed to be, you know, other kind of stuff involved in it, and for them to already have censored something off of the very, very first issue, you know, it's like, well, what else is going to be taken away? Or are the writers and the artists now going to have to think about how people are going to react now, and they maybe can't do something that they wanted to do. I mean, who knows what else they were going to introduce? I think I thought it was funny, but it wasn't that big of a deal. I think it's insane the eBay prices that these books are going for, though. It's just crazy, and a lot of that is because now they're taking it out of the next print.
Right, exactly. So as soon as something gets censored, it's like, oh, this book needs to be expensive now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I personally don't think it's a huge deal. There's been nudity in comics forever. I think people are making a really big deal about it because it's DC. And, this is typically not something you see come out of DC books. But they did say Black Label was going to be for mature readers, period. Okay? So if, you're offended by shit, if you read it and you're offended, then don't read it again. Don't pick up issue 2. Just leave it alone. You don't got to make a huge deal about it. Chad, what do you think? You think this is blown out of proportion, or are they?
I think all the people who are offended by this need to go into a closet, into their safe space, and just relax and cool off. Because, and even people are like, oh, it's from DC. Yeah, this is the company that came in the 80s and said this is not your, comics aren't just for kids. They have a history of pushing the envelope on controversial topics and controversial artwork. And again, it was supposed to be for adults only, 18 and up. This wasn't supposed to be for little kids. And I don't even know if it's little kids who were offended by it or if it was parents of those kids or guys or girls, whoever it was. If you're offended by what you saw, you need to quit life. Because if that is so much, it really is. Because if seeing a man's drawn penis on a comic got you so riled up, you're not going to be able to handle the rest of your life in the real world. Okay? They said it was for adults. It was Black Label. You should have expected something like that. The worst thing is it wasn't gratuitous. It wasn't like a Deadpool shot where he's like making a pose and, hey, look at my dick. It was like he's being broken down. It suited the scene. It went with the scene and the feeling of that scene and what was going on. And people got so angry. And I was just like, you're all stupid. Literally, people watching this, if you're offended by that, you're an idiot. Stop reading comics because you're the problem with the industry. Simple as that.
Wow. Tell them how you really feel, Chad.
We just hit 7,000 followers, and now you lost them all.
Yeah. Sorry, Batwing killed. No, but it's just so dumb. Like, it's a drawn penis on it, but it suited the scene. Like I said, I could honestly see if he was doing something gratuitous or they drawn him in a weird way where it looked like they're trying to be dirty on purpose, but they weren't. It suited the scene, what was going on, and it was one panel, literally one shot showed it, and one shot kind of showed the outline. Like, there's been much worse, and people to be offended and getting so mad. And DC saying, "Oh, okay, well, we'll block it out." It's like, why?
Right.
Because, like I said, I saw these books going for $250 on eBay.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That is.
That is crazy. I'm gonna get mine double signed and sell it for $1,000 then. Like, geez, like.
Hey, just make sure you get it witnessed.
Yeah, and I got a Batwing remark on it too. That'd be great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just think it's a little nuts, but
the biggest issue nowadays is censorship, and I mean they censor stupid things too. Like, I mean, I'm sure people have seen that expression, "free the nipple." You could show the whole breast, but you blur out a little nipple. What is the point? You know what I mean? So if that's the case, you should have just shown the nutsack and just blurred out the penis. I mean, it makes no sense, really. If something is directed towards an older audience base, it shouldn't be an issue. And now people have brought up the topic of polybagging these books for future issues, so that it can't be opened. You can't see what's in it. You have to be able to meet the age requirement and purchase the book before you can open it and see what's going on. I mean, James, you think that's a good idea, or you think that that's another pointless step?
I think it's another pointless. I mean, I would have been fine with something just simple like, and I looked, I mean, unless I missed it, but you open up the first page and it just simply says, for mature readers. Something like that. Just something that DC covers their ass and, they say, well, we put it on there that it says this. But then you just keep doing what you're doing. You did all you could do. You don't need to change everything just because of this.
Right. Chad, how do you feel? You think they should be polybagging these books?
They should polybag him with a giant wang, but with the head blurred out in the front, saying, "More of this on the way, folks." Or you put it, if you don't want to polybag it, you put it behind the counter. You put it up on a display behind the counter, and someone's like, "Oh, I want that issue. You 18? Oh yeah, can I see some ID, driver's license, health card, government ID, whatever it is? Okay, cool. Here you go."
Well, now do you think that's over? You think that's overboard now? Now we got to start IDing customers.
Well, I'm just saying without poly, you don't need to polybag and do this other crap. Like, you don't have to do anything. It's for mature readers. Everybody in the industry has known it's for mature readers. The second they announced DC Black Label, they said it's going to be for mature readers. And now I'm reading that all the other titles are going to be delayed. Because I guess there was stuff that they were going to be introducing in those ones that, the lightweights out in the world there might be offended at. So,
right. Well, you know what I think it was? I think... and I believe this is a big possibility of what went down. When there's a lot of books out there that say for mature readers, okay? And everybody knows that companies put labels like that to cover their own ass when it comes to certain things. Like, there may be like one foul word or something within a panel, and then they label it mature readers just so you can't say that they didn't. But 9 out of 10 times, these books aren't really half that bad to where you really need to watch out what your kid's reading. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, a lot of people are aware of that. It said mature readers. A parent probably didn't think that there was some nudity in it. Kid was like, "Oh, Batman, I want it." Kid brings it home and goes, "Mommy, look, a penis." Fucking flipped her shit, probably went nuts. And I guarantee you that's exactly what happened. But I personally believe that's up to that chalks up to the responsibility of the shop owner. You have to know what you're selling, and if there's certain things that shouldn't be aimed at younger kids, you shouldn't have them easily accessible by younger kids. Period.
Exactly, yeah.
Mature reader means mature reader. Have a mature reader section. This way when parents come in with their kids, listen, that's the oldest section. You may want to look through it before you let your kid have it. I mean, I don't know about other parents, but when my kid wants something, if she's in my shop looking at things, if it ain't a My Little Pony book, I'm looking through it first before I give it to her. Period. You shouldn't punish. Exactly. You shouldn't punish the public. Not saying that. What issue 2 comes out, like I hope there's another penis. I'm not saying all of that.
I do.
James apparently does. But it's just censorship in itself bothers me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but when I feel like I'm being censored, it pisses me off. Like, don't tell me what I can and cannot read. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what do you think about? Well, go ahead, Chad.
I say, well, that sucks because I'm pretty sure Ink's probably going to bleep out half your things you're talking about here when we go live. So
he might to me. I'm going to free my nipple though.
Yeah, there you go. No, it is true. Like I don't know what's going on. It's 2018. And with all the other stuff that people have to deal with on a daily basis, everybody from kids to old people, like to elderly folks, everything we see and hear, on the radio, TV, newspaper, everything, and we're worried about this. Like, there are bigger fish to fry than seeing a drawn penis in a mature readers only book.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I was researching Batman's dick for strictly research purposes only, one of the articles that I found was from comicbook.com, and I'm hoping this is true, and I'm hoping that this isn't like a troll page or whatever, but there's an interview with this lady, Marilyn Milos, who is the founder of Genital Autonomy America.
Oh, that's a real thing?
Yeah. I did Facebook her, and she's real. So she's offended about it. I guess someone asked her about it. And she was offended with it, not because of it, but because he's circumcised, and she's one of those groups that believes that that's child abuse. And so she was offended by it for that reason, and I'm sure there's got to be others. And then they asked her, if you could tell Bruce Wayne if you had the chance, and she said, quote, "I'd tell Batman about foreskin restoration to regain some of what was lost."
Oh my god!
Hey, some guys could use that extra inch, I guess.
Oh my god!
It's funny because that was like the talk of everything, right? But nobody talked about how good the fucking story was.
Oh, it was amazing, or the art in general. The rest of Lee Bermejo was killing it. What a great issue!
Yeah.
And Azzarello's writing was amazing. All the crazy, all the cameos. You had Deadman in there. You had
going to be a big part.
Yeah, Constantine. You had
Hannah.
Yeah, you had her too. It was crazy. It was such an amazing issue.
The people needed to focus more on that, man, for real. What I did like, I don't know for sure. I think there was only 2 covers that were released for that issue.
Yeah, the Jim Lee and the Lee Bermejo one.
Right, which was cool because the Jim Lee cover was also badass.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh shit, I gotta go to 50,000 different shops to get every single cover. Like there was only 2, and I personally believe that was because they wanted to focus on the story. Brian Azzarello did an excellent freaking job with this story. Period.
Yeah.
And the spotlight was just taken off of him completely.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys see the clip? The little teaser picture of issue number 2.
I don't think I have yet. I've been really busy, so I don't think I've seen it yet.
It's got, I believe that's Harley Quinn on the cover, and
I saw that.
It looks ridiculous, man. It really does. But who knows if they're going to change that or not now?
Yeah, I don't know, because I know they're only going to black it out in reprints. They're going to black it out in the upcoming prints, but I don't know. I was kind of like DC because I thought we're going to do what we want. So they could just be like, no, we're going to keep it, and if that offends you, then don't read our shit.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice if DC was just like, you know what, we don't care what you guys think. Yeah. Like this is what it is. Deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is the world we live in, ladies and gents.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. Who's ready for that Joker movie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, I know everybody's seen those little teaser trailers, man. The one trailer didn't have any audio, and I think the second one didn't have any audio either, but it looks like they're bringing his original costume, the purple suit.
Yeah.
I am so extremely hyped up for this movie. It is unbelievable. Now, talking about that train scene that we got up now, just that in general, just seeing this clip makes my balls tingle. Just look at these pictures, man. Even down to the makeup, the suit, the hair. I think this guy's gonna kill this role. Chad, what do you think? You hyped up for this or what?
I'll tell you the one that got me going, got me really excited, was the one where it's a slow pan in, and you see Joaquin's Phoenix face, and you see the strobe light going off, and you hear like the laugh and the clown stuff, and then you see him with the makeup, and he's grinning, and then at the end of it, he just goes like totally straight faced. I was like, oh shit, like that's crazy. Where you think it's a joke, like he's laughing, like he's got this huge smile on purpose. And you're like, oh, okay, he's kind of making fun of it, and then he kind of goes serious, like his face right at the end. You're like, oh shit, like if you saw that guy in a bar, he did that to you at a bar, you'd be like, uh-oh. Shit's coming.
Well, if I seen any guy in the bar with that kind of fucking makeup, I'm automatically leaving.
But no, it looks good, and we were talking about it off air. But I'm really interested to see what kind of the 2 different storylines, because it looks like there's going to be a few different. They're going to pull from a few different storylines of the past where he was like that failing comedian who ended up getting involved with the mob somehow, and then kind of goes crazy and breaks off on his own or whatever. But it looks really cool. Like, and some of the actors that are going to be in this movie are really good. It's being Todd Phillips, who's directing, is good, and then it's got Martin Scorsese producing it. He probably has a little bit of not say, but like suggestions, like do this or do that, or you know. So I think it's gonna be really excited. I think it's gonna be really dark and still funny, like not a dark comedy, but there'll be those bits in there to relieve the tension. Maybe I think it's gonna be really dark, and I think Joaquin Phoenix is gonna kill it personally.
James, what do you think? You hyped up for this movie or what?
I am now. So last time I was on the podcast, the Fiend cast, I talked about how fucking stupid it was that they created a new Joker and were doing this movie.
Hater.
In premise, I still believe that, but after seeing this, I then became hyped, and I don't really get hyped, especially for these DC movies, and that's as a DC fan. But once I saw the pictures and then that scene, the little trailer, now I'm starting to get that hype, and I'm trying to keep it chill because I still need to see it, but I do believe now it'll be good. And I never had anything against him being casted in the first place. I was open to whatever. So I think he's going to do a fantastic job for sure. The mannerisms and all that in that subway scene, it's going to work for sure.
Right. I mean, let's not fucking kid ourselves. DC hasn't had a good track record when it comes to the movies, and we're always like, oh, great. Like, the trailer looked cool, but then you go see the movie and you end up wanting to eat a bullet. He's an incredible actor to begin with. So I'm assuming that he's going to take that role to heights that, Heath Ledger took it to where Jack Nicholson took it. And again, that's also a big argument. You can never compare the actors. They were the best of their era, blah, 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 blah. But in retrospect, the lead role is really going to determine where this movie is going to go. If the lead role sucks, the rest of the movie is kind of just going to drag ass with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After seeing those scenes, I'm hoping that the rest of the movie is going to be just as badass, man. I have high hopes for this one. I think it's a possibility that this movie could, raise the pedestal a little bit for DC as far as their movies go in general. If they can keep that momentum. Hopefully they don't drag out the origin story. Now, James, are you familiar with like the Joker's origin story?
The Killing Book, yeah, or the Killing Joke, yes. And then, I mean, that's pretty much it right there.
Right, like that's what I'm hoping that they kind of base it off of.
Yeah.
If they do that, if they can put that on the screen, I think we got a moneymaker right there. What do you think? Do you think that's going to be the point that they're going to try to go with?
I don't, for the simple fact that it seems the scenes we see in him being the failed comedian harken back to kind of the original thing, or one of the older stories is where he's a failed comedian and he gets involved in the mob, and then in the story they make him wear the Red Hood mask. He's the original Red Hood, and then so I think they might just make him kind of the lackey. We're going to send you into this room. We don't expect you to make it out alive or whatever. And he has to do some crazy, heinous shit to get out of that. And it makes him go crazy. And then he kind of turns on his masters, so to speak. So you never know what's going on. So it'll be interesting to see what story they go with. So, I think that's more the thing with the storyline they're going to go with is him owing debt to the mob, and they get him involved and he just goes a little loco through whatever circumstances he ends up getting involved in. But we'll see, I guess. It could be good either way.
Now, there's a lot of talk. People are speculating, if it is an origin story, then, I mean, you got to have Batman in it, right? Now, with all this shit that's going on with, Batfleck, you think if they do put in Batman, who do you think's going to play Batman? Do you think it'll be a big cameo to where you actually, see Batman for a good amount of time, or do you think it'll be like a brief cameo? Like, James, what do you think? You think Batman will be in this movie?
I don't, but I think if they did, the feel that I get from the movie is that this is much older, taking place, not in the present times. That's just the feel that I got from it.
Looks like the 70s if you see the cars.
Something like that. So if that's the case, then you can totally now just, if they wanted to, now you would just totally recast a younger Batman. do it like that. But then if that's the case, then is that now going to be Batman for future? I mean, it just, so I think if you do it right, he can carry the movie on his own without him.
Right, definitely. But I mean, in retrospect, you can't talk about Joker's origin story without including Batman, right?
You could though, because you could make it where the end will leave it for Batman to come in. And remember, this movie doesn't necessarily. This could be kind of like Nolan's Bat trilogy. It doesn't. There's no rule saying that this Joker movie has to connect to the DCEU to the rest of the movies.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to join up. It doesn't have to go into continuity with Justice League or BVS or Wonder Woman. So this could be its own little side universe, you know. And then you should have. I'm sure they'll make a reference to Batman, but it might just be at the end of the movie, and it could be just an actor in a silhouette, you know. And what's going on, Gordon? And then he calls himself the Joker, and then fade to black. End of the movie, and then you wait till the next one comes out to do that. So. You know, I guess they'll release more details in the coming months. We'll find out if there's been a Batman cast and if he's going to be in it and what they're looking to do. So,
true. Now, what do you guys think about Batgirl? You think Batgirl might make a cameo in this? I mean, Batgirl was involved in the Killing Joke, right?
Well, she wasn't Batgirl then.
Batman, though. Well, yeah, true. She was Barbara. So,
yeah.
But I mean, I think you introduce Batman, like Chad said at the end, just to kind of, if you wanted to, he could be Joker and he could be the psychotic and all that kind of stuff. And then, because what Chad was referring to, that is the Killing Joke, the whole, you know, failed comedian becomes the Red Hood, blah blah blah. And then running from Batman gets into the you know, bad chemicals or whatever you want to call it. So you could have like a storyline where he's the Joker and he becomes this character. But then you bring in Batman just to kind of now create the nemesis, the arch rival, you know, but you still have Joker.
Right. I mean, either way, I mean, you know what? Not for nothing, it would probably be a good way to introduce a new Batman, you know, with all the shit that's going on with Affleck. So maybe at some point in the end of the movie, they will reference a new vigilante running around. You know, and that's how they'll come out with another new Batman movie, which I just hope if they do come out with a new Batman movie that we're not talking about his parents getting killed again and all that other nonsense, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they are. It's just not casted or anything yet.
Right. Well, either way, I know everybody's hyped for this movie. You know, I'm sure all the DC fans out there that talk shit about Marvel all the time, they're all at home right now like, yes, this is going to happen. Marvel could suck it. Now, you know, let's talk about this trip to Baltimore Comic-Con.
Yeah.
A lot of the East Coast chapter members are going.
Yes, sir.
I know everybody is super hyped for this trip. You know, Chad could barely sit still, clearly. He's ready to go. We got a lot of interesting things going on for Baltimore Comic-Con. You know, besides the fact that we're going to be digging in a lot of boxes and everything, you know, we're going to have a huge charity raffle for, you know, the Baltimore Boys and Girls Club. So if you're at Baltimore Comic-Con and, you know, you want to be a part of this charity raffle, you could come check us all out. Chad, you want to give him some info?
Yeah, for sure. So, Comic Book Fiend Club is going to be joining forces with Ahmed and Johnny from Super Nice Comics. And we're going to be doing the charity, like I said, the charity giveaway raffle for the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Baltimore. Right when you walk in, if you head, they're in booth 106. So right when you go through the doors, if you head to your left, after the last door that you go into the hall with, their booths are going to be like right there. For the first few days, I think Boogie, as well as a few other people, will be manning the booth. You know, they'll have the display up with all the different prizes in the giveaway. We're gonna be doing 2 tickets for $5. So you buy $5, get you 2 tickets. We're gonna go all weekend, and then on Sunday, either around 12 or 1 o'clock, we're gonna pull the ticket and announce the grand prize winner. But yeah, we're gonna have, we got a framed Harlequin print signed by Jim Lee that's thrown in there. Uncouth Ruth, aka Mike Ruth, who's done some artwork for Marvel and DC, among other companies, gave us a Conan and another Conan character, some awesome original art. We're gonna have a bunch of slabs. We're looking for other, we're currently nailing down other donations and stuff as part of the giveaway package. So it's gonna be really sweet. And like all the proceeds, we're not keeping anything. The guys from Super Nice aren't keeping anything. Every dollar we make is going to be donated to the Boys and Girls Club. So either if you don't want a ticket, stop in, say hi to us, and donate if you can, and chat us up, and it'll just be fun. It's a great cause, and like I said, every dollar is going to them. So we want to try to raise as much as we can.
Again, that's going to be booth number 106. All right, you come in, check us out. Like Chad said, I'll be there personally Friday and Saturday. Throughout the days, just kicking and waiting for people to come. If you don't want to buy a ticket and be part of, the chance to win this prize. I mean, this prize is going to have like a couple of $100 worth of shit in it.
If not more, yeah.
So I mean, for $5 to get 2 tickets, it shouldn't be a huge deal. You know what I mean? And it's going to an awesome cause. To help these kids out. With field trips and supplies that they may need. Everybody knows the Boys and Girls Club does awesome work for these kids that are less fortunate. So it's definitely a good cause. Make sure you come through and show some love. Like I said, if you don't want a ticket and you just want to donate, that's cool too. A good question though is, people that want to be a part of this raffle, do they have to be at Baltimore Comic-Con, or is there another way to enter? What do you think, Chad?
I'll be honest, we didn't really think about that. We were thinking about just people coming through the door. I can contact the guys and see if we can figure something out with that. If people want to make donations, if they want to make donations over PayPal or eBay or email or whatever, I'm sure I can talk to the contact that we have at the Boys and Girls Club, because I'm sure there is something like that. I'm sure if you even go on their website, I guarantee. In fact, I do know there is a way on the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Baltimore website that you can make a donation. So if you want to make a donation for that, you can do that. As far as the donation, as far as doing the raffle, we'd have to give me a day or something to figure out the logistics of doing that, because it'd be a little harder, I think, to have a little more transparency of pulling the ticket. That's why it's easier if someone's there. We can physically pull your ticket. But as far as that, I didn't really think of people doing that part. So we'll try to figure it out to give maybe a better answer to blast it all. And any updates that we're gonna have, I will blast out through the club page on Instagram in the next coming days. In regards to any questions we get involving this, and as well as any updates that involve the raffle giveaway for next weekend.
All right, so yeah, keep checking that Comic Book Fiend Club Instagram page for updates on this raffle. Like I said, there's a lot of guys from the East chapter that are going to be there. I'm sure you'll see somebody walking around in their cut, and come up, ask a question, chat it up, because let's not forget, enrollment is October 1st. So I mean, if you're in Baltimore and you're trying to enroll, come scream at your boy, man. Let's chop it up. There's no way to get better acquainted than in person. Hands down. I'm sure plenty of people have met other members, at cons and stuff. James, how many people do you run into when you go to a con?
Usually, yeah. When we go to the LA one, we're talking 5 or 10, and there's probably 4 or 5 members who have gotten in just not only because we met them, but meeting them, got the real personality. I mean, we talk all the time about that's something that we're looking for, is your personality. And, people are like, well, how do I show my personality on a page? And there's ways you can, your captions or whatever, and your pictures and stuff, but really that face-to-face interaction, you can't beat that. And so when you see us at a con, it goes a long way, and we'll remember you and be like, oh yeah, that guy. I mean, you could fit in or not fit in, from that conversation.
Right. Hands down, man. Definitely the person-to-person interaction trumps anything that, we'll see on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not for nothing though. We've gotten a lot of good potential members, this enrollment. There's been a lot of people reaching out. I was surprised to see how many messages the club was getting, and how many people are tagging us and things. I know, Chad, you probably gotten a crazy amount of guys for that Canada chapter, huh?
Yeah, we got about a baker's dozen so far, of new guys that I've never even seen before, as opposed to April or last year. And then I'm sure we'll get more in the coming weeks, especially on October 1st. I'm sure guys will start flooding the waters a lot more. So, it'll be good. It'll be interesting. We got a good handful right now of just awesome guys. So, yeah, it's getting exciting.
Denthead Comics says that he feels like he's annoying tagging all of us and stuff. That's right, you are freaking annoying tagging us and all of this stuff. but that's the point, man. It's getting us to notice you. Like, if you didn't do it, we'd have no idea who the hell you are. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know, James, I don't know what you guys did on your side, but on the East Coast, we actually started a chat and like had all these potential applicants inside the chat to like really get to know everybody. Are you guys doing anything a little different this time around to vet out your applicants?
We haven't talked about anything like that yet. That's probably something that's a good idea, actually, just to get them involved more. I know that we've had a few members who have been DMing us, and so, talking to them through there. So we've had that one-on-ones. We've had a couple who have then afterwards ran into members. We talk a lot about how SoCal is a big area, and there's a lot of collectors out there. So we've had already people that are, hoping to join, and they've already ran into members at shops and whatnot. So, yeah. That's
cool. So you're looking at probably a good turnout then this enrollment. Huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. I definitely want to keep encouraging you people that are potential applicants for this enrollment. Just keep up what you're doing. I mean, a lot of you guys are doing great. A lot of the people that we've come across are awesome. Can't really complain about too many people. There are definitely a couple of people that we're all looking at like, I don't know. But that's mainly because you guys pop up and you say what's up, and then we never hear from you again. So you can't really blame us for not looking twice at you if that's the case.
Yeah, you can't get sour about that if that happens.
Yeah.
But again, we see it all. We see everything. We're like the Watcher.
Right. The Watcher. But yeah, Baltimore Comic-Con. Again, if you see us, come through and check us out. We'll have pins. We'll have stickers. We're gonna have cards. You guys want to chop it up about the Fiend cast. If you're an artist, show us your art. Maybe you can get featured, something like that. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Who knows?
There's gonna be 7 of us there from day one, and then a possible 2 more members are supposed to be joining us throughout the weekend. So
awesome sauce.
Yeah.
Now, also that week, that Thursday before we even get to Baltimore Comic-Con, the Ink Jedi is actually going to be doing a special interview with Joelle Jones. Now, I don't really have to tell you who Joelle Jones is. If you don't know, you better Google her. All right, it's going to be a pre-recorded interview. All right, most likely this interview will be uploaded that Friday. So you guys just stay tuned. Keep track on the Comic Book Fiend Club page for an update. It'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel, so you guys can check that out. Make sure you check it out. Ink Jedi, he's very persuasive with his questions. So what do you guys think about that? You think I'm excited for that interview, James? You?
I'm definitely excited for it. I think it's a big thing for us, and then also, I'd say, I don't know if we're supposed to say this, but if you guys have any questions, shoot them our way and, give him some extra ideas. We've done our best to come up with some, but I'm sure you guys can come up with a lot of really, really good stuff. Going back to maybe older titles of hers or whatever. So hit us up for the questions. Just, make the interview as best we can.
All right. Hell yeah. Chad, what's your take on it?
I think it's awesome. I think it speaks kind of to what it's well, one, it speaks to her because I think it's awesome that an artist who's at the top of her game right now is in high demand. Is like, oh yeah, sure, like I'll do your podcast, or I'll do an interview with you. So that's pretty cool, and I think it'll also help through Jedi being so persuasive and persistent and bugging. I think it'll help us too get other artists, for interviews down the road that say, well, okay, and they all talk to each other, either through their agents or through people. So if one guy, if in 3 weeks Jay contacts like, Greg Capullo, hey, can I do an interview? I bet you if anything, he'll either watch the interview or he'll call her up and say, hey, how was that guy? Was he a cool guy? Was he a dick? What's going on? And, hopefully she's like, no, they were cool. I like the questions. They were nice, good rapport. It was nice to be on there. So I think it's, nothing but good things is coming.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be a super awesome interview, and I'm really excited to see it. I think it's going to turn out great, and I think it's going to open up a lot of doors for us as a club. I mean, who would have known, right? If you look at when the club first started to where we are now, we have come such a long way. Between the charity work and all of the events. I mean, James, when you first joined the club, did you believe that this was what it was going to be?
Of course I did, man. No, I mean, I've always been one of those that just has, sky's the limit type thing. I'd be lying if I said I thought, we'd be doing a Fiend cast, but I always thought that sky's the limit for us. We can just keep going and going, and who knows how far we could take this thing. And then, real quick, going back to the interview, real quick, this is good for her too, and then people who maybe aren't as familiar with her, because I know for me personally, okay, you read their book, you see their art or whatever, but then when you get to know like the person a little better, it makes things, now you want to support them more. It's like, you know what? The book's cool. I really, really like it. But now that I know how awesome so-and-so is, in this case, it's going to be her, I want to support her even more. I'm going to get everything that she does, stuff like that. So I think it's really cool when we get to know them a little better.
Right. True that. Chad, what do you think?
Oh, no, totally. When you get to know the artist and you, especially, I don't know what kind of questions he's going to ask, but if you learn, somebody's got to answer their front door there, I think. If you learn their motivations behind writing a certain way or why they did something, or, like when I talked to Tom King at Fan Expo, and I was like, man, so many people were mad what you did with Batman issue 50. He's like, yes, they feel exactly like Batman felt. He's like, that wasn't just to mess with people. That was to show them, like, I knew people were being so involved, but that's just as involved as he would be. So you are just as mad and upset that he would actually be in real life. So you see that there's a process to everything they do. They don't just say, oh, what if we did this because it's a Tuesday and I want to go home. They think about everything. So it'll be really interesting to learn more about artists and writers because, yeah, like James said, when you see that they're really involved and they want it to be good and they're thinking about why they're doing it, you're like, oh, okay, that's awesome that they're liking what they do and they're involved in it. And I want to listen to them more and I want to read more of their stuff and support them more because I want them to stick around because I want to see more of their work.
Right.
So, I think it's great.
Right on, man. I mean, yeah, a lot of people don't look at the process of what goes into making a comic, I mean, artists and writers, they're just like actors. An actor gets into a role, a writer has to get into a role, and an artist has to get into that role that they're doing at that very moment. Some artists like to have the writer write out every panel, and then they draw, to the words that they're reading. Sometimes it's the opposite way around. I mean, I think that would be, a good question for her. How do you prefer to draw your books? Do you go off the writer's script first, or do you just draw everything and let the writer create the script as he goes off of your artwork? Either way, it's going to be an awesome interview. I'm super excited for that. I can't wait to see it. I got to go back to the whole meaning of the club in general. This is something that is very personal to me. When every time we have an enrollment, for the main fact, the club the club was around at a certain time in life where, you know, I needed the club, you know, and I think a lot of members in itself didn't know that because, you know, obviously our relationship didn't mature at that level just yet. But the togetherness and the brotherhood, sisterhood, the family atmosphere in general, you know, that's something that you feel right off the bat. You know, you can't mistake that, you know, and you can't even mask it. When the new prospects get in and they're told that they're accepted to the club, you know, you come back to me and tell me if I'm wrong, but you're gonna feel it right away. You're gonna feel that grasp of everybody just welcoming the shit out of you into this club, and it's gonna be a feeling like none other, man. And I think a lot of people overlook that. They see our patches and they think that we're just a group of assholes walking around in vests, but
Bike riders.
you know they don't see the behind the scenes, man. You know, and it's true. You know, I don't, Chad, when you joined, man, like how did you feel? What was the first feeling that you had?
No, it was awesome. It was awesome because, especially for me, is unfortunately, my wife isn't a geek. She doesn't, she couldn't give a shit about comics. So it's nice to have a group of people you can talk to. But at the same time, and then you touching on it, it really is like a family because, like, if you take, like we had a bunch of people that were, I don't think we had anybody directly in its path, but we had a lot of people affected by that hurricane or that tornado or whatever it was you guys just had down in the in the south, and it wasn't like people were just waiting on their computers or on their phones going, oh, is that guy okay? Like, we had members calling these guys in the real life, hey, dude, are you safe? Is your family safe? What's going on? Do you guys need help? Do you guys need, we can get somebody to you if you need it, guys who have are having maybe health issues at home or even financial issues, or I need help with this, or hey guys, I'm moving to this state or I'm moving to this town, where can I get this, what can I do this? Like, we're there for everything. Everybody's concerned, whether it's, we had Shane today, or just today or yesterday. He's like, oh, it's my little girl's birthday. So we're like, oh, tell her happy birthday from all of us, Guys, a few weeks ago, I was having health problems with I had some kidney issues. And Chad, you okay? Do you need anything? Try this, dude. Try that. Are you doing this? Like, we're concerned. We want everybody to be cool. We're not just sitting there on the computer waiting for people. If there's a problem, we are calling their cell phones. We're emailing them. We're saying, hey, are you okay? Do you need this? Do you got everything you need? So it is very much like a family. When you get in, you feel that right off. You get that feeling right off the hop, and but you get, how do I say it? You get more of it as you go. Like, right off the hop, you're not going to feel like you're going to feel like you're one of us and you're in the group. But as you go and we break your balls and you break our balls and you learn that give and take, then you get kind of that inner circle where it's like, okay, you see it now. And that's when you'll start to tell your friends, like, dude, these guys are awesome, or these girls are awesome, or, I can see why people are doing this and why they love it so much is it is like that family. Even if it is the family on the internet, it is your family, your friends. I'm guarantee you that if I had a problem, let's say I couldn't talk to anybody, I guarantee you if I called up James one night, he's like, yo, dude, you got 5 minutes to talk? Because right now I just need somebody to talk to. You shaking your head, you prick. But, okay, so fine. I know if I called Boogie, if I called everybody else but James, but, that's just how it is. And it's it's not like, and again, it's not like that right at the starting. It's not. You got to kind of not even earn. You just got to work towards that. As you get to know people in the club and they get to know you, then it's like real life. You meet someone at school or at work, you're not instant best friends. You might get along right away, but you got to learn. You got to build that relationship to where, if you needed them, dude, it's 1 a.m. I need you to help me hide a body. Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. We're gonna clip that from the live feed here.
But
okay.
But no, I just
you get what you put in, man.
Yeah, like, exactly. And like I said, we're there for each other. If people call me and we're like, hey, Chad, you able to help me with this? Can you look this up, or can you call me, or can you even talk to me? Or help me out with whatever. That's a big part of this club, and that's something we don't really talk about, because I feel that's something we like to keep kind of to ourselves, because that's what makes it special, is not telling everybody, oh, if you get in, this is what we'll do. That's what makes it so special, is it's something, that kind of atmosphere is something we kind of keep close to the vest,
Right.
So.
What about you, James? Man, what was your experience when you first got in?
Well, I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite of you, Boogie. When I joined, I felt like this club needed me. But other than that, no. But the family wise, I mean, for sure. I mean, when I got in, we were a little smaller. But either way, I mean, enrollment every time is like it's almost like a birth. Like you're gonna have all these new people coming into your family now, and it's an exciting feeling. But I know for me personally, when I had my son, I mean, sending a message out in this chat was one of the first, along with, family and stuff. You guys were one of the first ones that I sent that to, because it was that important to me. And, Braden Cabby, shout out to him. He just had his and he did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not just because, we want to be like, oh, look at me. It's just, you guys are our family and we want you to know that your family just got bigger. And, another big thing for me that I don't think I ever really talk about is what this club has done for me as a collector and a person and all that. I mean, when I first got in, I'm one of those, I was not a big time collector. I was, just getting into the things and, my collection has become outrageous since then with the help of everybody here. A big thing for me is LA Comic Con. The cons was something I always did here locally. But to make a trip out to a big one, because I'm from Northern California, so going to LA is about a 6-hour drive or so. I wouldn't have done that without this club being like, these are hella fun. You guys got to come out here and check out how we do it out here in SoCal. And it was like, I got to go see my brothers, and my sisters. I got to go and meet them. And now I'm about to go for the third time here next month. And I honestly can't say that I would have done that without this club and it's such a, I can go to a con anywhere, but to go and meet your family that you've talked to, online all day, every day. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah. Baltimore's 10 hours, son, for me. So
good for you.
Yeah, he's driving 10 hours just to get his balls busted.
Hey, I got off work, me and Everyday Comics, I got off work, we drove straight down there, went for like a day, came right back, went back to work. I mean, we savaged it out on that one. First trip.
That's crazy.
The struggle is real, man.
Yeah,
the struggle is real.
These guys, just for this.
No, we just got to change it from being a Raiders fan.
Let's not talk about that right now. Like really.
Yeah, we got a sports chat for that. You guys can fucking argue about that later. But yeah, man. Everybody has their own experience when getting into the club, and the one thing that everybody could honestly say and truthfully say at the end of the day, if you had one word to describe it, is family, man. Point blank, period. So, again, if that's something that you're trying to be a part of for the right reasons, we're all for it. We support you, but don't come here on some bullshit, period. So
well, that's exactly it. We're picky with who comes into this family just the same. I mean, that's the whole point.
Right. Yeah, the vetting process is pretty grueling.
Here's my notebook of everybody that applies, and me digging through your page and finding out all your shit.
That's some Jessica Jones shit right there, boy. So if you see that bright flash outside your window, that's James fucking taking snapshots of you.
Right.
Word up, man. Word up. So yeah, man, Baltimore Comic Con will be up in there. October 1st is enrollment, so make sure you're, checking out the Comic Book Fiend Club page, the Twitter, the Facebook page. We're on many social media outlets, so check them all out for updates. Remember that Thursday this week is going to be the Joelle Jones interview. Okay, so you'll probably catch that on Friday. Ink Jedi will upload it. It's going to be pre-recorded, so don't get on Thursday and be like, "Hey, what's going on? I don't see the interview. You guys said that Joelle Jones was going to be on Thursday. You motherfuckers lied to us." No, okay, pre-recorded. It'll be up on Friday. We're also going to try to work on a live show on Sunday at Baltimore Comic Con with everybody in one room, which should be a spectacular event. So make sure you tune in next week for that live Fiend cast.
Or Saturday night. It might be Saturday night. We'll see. We don't know because some people are leaving pretty early Sunday.
Right. It all depends on how drunk they get on Saturday.
Yep.
We'll figure it out then, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget at Baltimore Comic Con, Super Nice Comics booth number 106. 2 tickets for $5. Boys and Girls Charity Club. Okay. If you're watching this
Girls
live,
Club.
that's what I said, right? Boys and Girls Club.
You said charity club.
Whatever. Don't correct me, motherfucker. This is my podcast today.
But just their Instagram page, though, just so people know, it's super nice, but it's super NYCE comics, not super NICE. So it's not your typical. It's like New York City comics kind of stuff. So
right, yeah, forget about it. It's Italian. It's Super Nietzsche, huh?
Oh, jeez.
Right. All right. So yeah, definitely check them out on Instagram. Show some love. 2 tickets for $5 going to a great cause. I mean, come on now. Help other people out. You're going to be at the con anyway, spending hundreds of dollars. I'm sure you can find $5 to buy 2 tickets. Don't be a stingy bastard, huh?
Yeah. And by tomorrow, I will figure out a way if people do want to enter the draw that aren't going to be there. I think I've already thought of a way to do it. I'm just going to run it by some other guys in the club who are helping me with this. And by tomorrow, I'll have an update with in regards to that. Sweet.
So just make sure you stay tuned and check out all the social media outlets for updates. I think that's it, guys. You guys got anything else you want to add?
No. Nothing? I mean, just to all the trash pandas who got offended by Batwang, just stop collecting and
Oh God! We're not going to talk about that again. All right?
Go get yourself. Go chill with a latte.
Go chill with a latte and penis. They go good together. James, you got anything you want to
add? No, just stay in touch, everybody. I'm bored, so hit me up. Give me some ideas for some Raiders rants. I've been slacking on those, so give me some ideas. What do you want to see?
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. If you got ideas that you want to hear on a future show, hit us up at Comic Book Fiend Club. Slide up in them DMs.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit up at the Ink Jedi. He's obviously the host with the most. Usually, I told him to fall back today. I was like, listen, I got this, bro. Okay,
it's the best show we've had.
This is like the best show that we've had. I mean. I think I might tell him to fall back, another time and just let me take over. I think the next one I'll do naked. What do you guys think? Think I should do it naked?
But you got to block out your nipples.
Right.
I'll black out my nipples and I'll black out the shaft.
There you go. Okay. Well, then you can use a really tiny sticker for that.
Just use one of these.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let me correct myself. So, on IG, formerly known as the Ink Jedi. It's now at Sir Quarterson of New Jersey. Okay, let me say it again. Sir Quarterson of New Jersey. Okay, he is like the illest gentleman in the world. I love this guy.
Yeah.
All right. So again, Fiends and Fiendettes, thanks for tuning in on another live episode of the Comic Book Fiend Club presents the Fiend Cast. I appreciate everybody that came in today to see me. Blab off my big mouth and show my beautiful trimmed beard. It was nice having you. Thanks to my guests, the Canadian Geek and the Comic Raider for coming on tonight. Make sure you tune in. Same Fiend time, same Fiend channel. Next Sunday, baby. Or Saturday. I don't know. Forget about it. We'll tell you when we're going to have it, all right? Slow yourself. Have a good night, everybody. Batwang.